by psychologists say if a woman has more than 10 bodies, she's quicker to divorce you or something like that. And then he also said something that's interesting about emotionally bonding. So what I feel like what Brittany Renner wasn't understanding is I think that when a woman typically has multiple bodies with men, it's a little different because women are, it's like a, it kind of sounds weird to say a portal, but it's an entrance, it's like it's an internal thing. So to me, I feel like when a woman has multiple sex partners, she's bonding with each one of these sexual partners, even though she might say that she can have sex with them, like Brittany Renner was saying, I can have sex with you and not think about you the next day. It's like you can turn that on in your mind, but realistically, you are connecting with each one of these guys that you're sleeping with, and then you're comparing. So then when you do try to get into a serious situation, this is just my opinion, I feel like you're going to start comparing all those bonds that you've had with these different guys that maybe you've slept with to the person that you're trying to maybe have a real situation with. That's just my opinion. So I feel like if you do want to start having something serious with somebody and emotionally connect with them, I feel like you have to cut certain things off. And you have to focus on exactly what you want. Like if you only want to deal with this one person, you only want to be with this one person, and you only want to whatever with this one person, then there shouldn't even be any other options unless you're not really sure. But I just feel like as far as what he said about the psychology thing, I didn't really understand what he mean by if you have more than 10, like I don't really think that it matters the numbers. I mean, what do you guys think about that? I mean, I feel like if you have more than 2, you're still emotionally connecting yourself with multiple people, whether it's 3, whether it's 10, whether it's 50. I mean, I think the more body counts you have, maybe the more difficult it makes for you to become committed to just one person.
Yeah, I kind of want to let Mike go, considering like he dates women.
No,
I
like
mean,
I was looking up some of this stuff, like some statistics on this, and what was this? I read something about like
he laughed
what
at you.
what
He laughed at Kenyatta.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was looking up some of this stuff, and listen, I took some notes down here. What's that? The more men you sleep with, you lose your ability to bond with them, with each one. Pair bonding. So it says that 80 to 25% of women who do this type of pair bonding end up not happy within their marriage and end up getting divorced if they sleep with more than 5 to 10 men. So this is just like research that you can look up either on the CDC or like I forgot that other website the guy said. What was that website that he said?
What?
The guy that was arguing.
I didn't hear the website. I just heard
he said something like psychologist.com. Yeah.
Yeah,
psychologist.
Yeah. So,
But
yeah,
what is pair bonding? Like what? I guess that just means 2 people coming together.
Pretty much meaning that like the more sexual partners that you have, like you're always going to compare your last partner to like your current partner. So like so like the last sexual partner that you had, you're going to compare to the other partner. Like
so
the
That's
next
only
10
in reference to
partners that you
women.
have, you're gonna like compare them, and then like the next 15 partners that you have, you're gonna like compare them, and like naturally, at least for like the heterosexual community, I don't know how it is for the homosexual community, but like men don't like to be compared, when they're having sex.
Women don't either. I mean, I feel like it goes. I feel like it would go both ways.
Agreed, but like naturally, like women like to have a man who's sexually experienced.
Experience.
Yeah. They prefer a man who's more
Ah.
sexually experienced compared to a man who was a virgin,
You know what's funny? I've heard guys say like
from what I hear.
I remember one time I seen something on a Facebook group and these guys were saying how if a girl if a female give head too good, they like suspect about that.
I've heard that
Yeah. And I'm like, wait a minute. And then you have some guys be like, I would rather like tell her what I like, da, 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 or tell her what she need to do. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. So it's weird. It's like, okay, so women would prefer to have men that are more experienced and not so much a virgin. And and men kind of get leery when a woman is a little too experienced.
So to that point, I would think it in terms of there are some men who doesn't mind a dominant female in the bedroom, but most men want to be the dominator just because they don't
Right.
want to feel like taken advantage of or weak or like all of those things. It's like this meme that we saw or it was this TikTok that I saw where this girl pushed her man up against the wall and she picked his
Oh,
legs
yeah.
up, right? And he was like, "Oh,
I see.
like, whoa, calm down, like that ain't
I
what you
see
doing,
that.
right?"
I see
And so she was
that.
like, "Just calm down. I'm just trying to kiss you." And then threw his arms up. He was like, "Whoa, come on, now, like." So I can understand the reasoning behind that about her knowing her way around the bedroom a little bit
Right.
more. I understand sometimes men have the fascination of being a woman's first.
Mm,
Like there's a whole slew of, and I'm sure you know this, Mike, there's a whole category for virgin porn, right?
really?
Yeah, because I mean,
Virgin porn?
well, so it's supposed to be like that whole situation of being a woman's first, right? Or kind of like
Oh,
so there's that fascination
like a
for
fetish.
yeah, it's a fetish behind that sometimes. And I think it's because
Hmm.
a woman who's a virgin is somewhat like stay tight. You know what I mean? Like more
Right, right,
like
right.
there's that
Correct.
whole situation behind it.
I
I think
don't
that
think it's I don't think it's
and
necessarily bad.
untouched.
No, I mean, I guess I see where you come from, but I think it's more like men care more about like the purity of a woman.
Yeah, that's what I
Um,
mean.
Yeah, not
yeah.
necessarily her being a virgin, but like just like I think if you ask majority of men, if there's like two girls, like all right, this girl's body count, she had 30 different sexual partners compared to another girl that had only like 15. Naturally, men are going to go for the girl that had only 15 different sexual partners
Mm.
For
because in a way,
sure.
like
They prob
she's more
they probably
pure.
upset that she
Oh
has
wow.
15. You know what I mean? Like they probably upset with that many just as well. I mean,
Right.
they're always going to go specifically for the lower number, I would think.
Right.
I think it has a lot to do with like how Mike was saying, a woman probably wants a more experienced man in the bedroom. I think in terms of going out in public with someone that you're dating, right? So
Mhm.
like the man is probably more inclined or more um, distracted with the fact of running into one of her sexual partners.
I never thought about it like that though.
Oh yeah, I mean, like imagine like you walk into a room with your significant other, and
Like
you
the
don't
guy
know
is
them. You just
probably
know them. You know, they're just your peers, or like you're like they're your associates. But you know that within this room, she slept with like 15 of these guys.
3 of these
Oh,
dudes. You know what
You
I
know,
mean?
oh,
like it's just
no.
to majority men, because some men don't care, but
Right. Some
majority
do
men are
not
gonna be like,
care.
Majority
hold
men
on, wait,
don't.
you
Right.
fucked 15 niggas in here? Like,
But
God
if they don't, but if
damn.
they don't care, they just want to fuck too. If they don't
Now
care,
the
they
odds.
just want to fuck
Yeah, but
too.
Now
that's the
the
difference
odds of
between
that
like wanting to
happening
fuck
is
and like being in a
slim.
serious relationship. I'm
Right,
sorry, go ahead, Ken.
right. Okay,
Now
okay.
the odds of that happening is slim, but it's still, it could be just one dude. Like, I think it sets an insecurity in the man that you're dating because they wondering like, what's up with this nigga? Like,
Right,
what did he do? Like, you still in
right,
love with this motherfucker? Like,
right.
what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, everything starts to check that. But when it comes to a woman meeting a man, I guess she's somewhat, when it comes to a woman meeting the man's former sexual partner, I think she starts to question herself, and then she starts to be a little bit more combative towards the other woman rather
Right.
than
It's like territorial or some shit.
rather than the man a lot of the time. You know what I mean?
I
Like,
don't want to do that.
she may ask questions about the situation, but I think the guy is more inclined to leave the relationship than the woman would if she met the previous sexual partner.
Or
That's
not take
so
it seriously.
crazy. That's
So
so crazy.
I think that that's what happens when it comes to checking a body count for a woman versus a man. Like, I think that's just how men think, and that's just
Right,
how women think. And I think
Well,
also on terms of like how they are, women are more emotionally attached to the people that they get into a
mm,
relationship
yep,
or find as a sexual partner. It's
yep.
it goes back to that whole conversation that we had. Maybe, I don't know if it was last week or beforehand, but the woman was saying like, I have to have an emotional connection with
Right,
if somebody gonna be on top of me,
right,
whereas the guy was saying that he knows plenty of friends who will just stick it and move. You know what I
right.
mean?
Move. Right. That's true.
So I think that's what challenges most men, because it's like, oh, you done had an emotional connection with this nigga. You know what I mean? But as
Right.
opposed to a woman
Um,
being like, oh, she ain't had
oh,
shit
you
on
just
me. Like,
right. Oh, you
she
just
can't
hit
do it
that.
like I can. You know what I mean?
Right,
Like, you know
right.
what I mean?
Okay. And I
So
mean,
and
that's
that's
a good
why like I have to
that's
call
a
like
good
bullshit.
perspective too.
And I was gonna say that's why I have to like call bullshit on Brittany Renner, especially like when she said
oh, it was
that
bullshit.
line where she was like,
Yeah. She is
I
off.
could just fuck you and not think about you the next day. But it's like, well, lady, you wrote an entire book on like all these like previous sexual partners who happen to be NBA players,
Mhm.
NFL players, and yada yada yada. So obviously you didn't forget about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
you made you made money off of it. You know, so
That's very true.
She probably can to the average nigga, right? So like, she
yeah,
Right.
yeah,
probably
yeah, yeah,
can
yeah, yeah.
just be like, keep it pushing because you ain't providing me nothing beyond just this right now. And so I'm not really trying to lay it down with that or anything like that. But I think that she has now gotten to a point of training herself to think that way. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? And then when you have the rest of the world judging you and you have to stay
Right.
firm within your beliefs, then
Right.
like nobody can tell you shit
Didn't tell
just
you shit.
because, right? So like, she has trained her mind to go in a way that like it it permits her to live the way that she's living.
Exactly.
Otherwise, if she listens to everybody, that she feels guilty about everything that she's doing and all of that, which we want her to feel guilty, but it's
Right.
like,
Please
she trying
wake up, honey.
she trying to do what, like I mean, it's working for her because she's now like nationally known across the
Right,
board. Like NFLs know her, bringing her in. You know what I mean? So
right.
it's like
She
certain
got on people's
it's
shows.
it to a
Here, here,
certain degree is working for her in terms of her, right? So
Right,
like like it's she's getting popular infamously, which is not
right,
great, but
right.
she don't care
She
as
sure
long as
don't.
they paying
but that's the
her.
thing, like, but that's the thing
She
that like
don't.
confuses me with her though, because like she says that she doesn't care, but even when she had a sit down interview, a one-on-one discussion with Kevin Samuels, and she was talking about how like she wants a relationship and she's looking for that special person and whatnot, but at the same token, she's like, oh, well, you know what I'm saying, like. Why, like men do it all the time, why can't I do it? Why can't I live free and like have multiple sexual partners and blah blah blah? But then at the same time, she'll start crying wolf when someone calls her out on like, well, her come up, as far as like her being a I don't want to say no, well, fuck yeah, her being a hoe. So it's like, so are you gonna embrace that, or like, are you always gonna like have this back and forth when like someone calls you out for, unfortunately, what you are?
I
I
think
think I think sometimes she goes into a situation thinking like with good intentions, right? And then when she realizes that it's not going to become something, then she makes it about the money, or she
mhm.
makes it about, you know what I mean? Like, but the problem is it becomes a body count situation where it's like now you have this reputation, even
Uh-huh.
if you're trying to start something immediately, you know what I mean? Like even if you are attempting to try and have something meaningful, right? I think all the time now people are going to be looking at you with a side eye.
Right,
Yeah, and that's
exactly.
and that's no one's fault but her own. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right,
she put
right.
like that. That's like she was given a platform to promote herself
Yeah,
as this, this sexual figure.
yeah,
So
Yeah.
you can't be mad when like when you want something serious, but no one takes you seriously because
Seriously.
like that's the representation that precedes you.
yeah.
And like the guys,
It's across the board. It's for everything when it comes to your reputation, your history within dating,
right,
especially um uh
high
on a
end.
global
Right,
status. You know what I
right.
mean? If people know
Uh-huh.
you, then
Right.
it's a certain situation. It's like the same thing with J Lo. J Lo getting married every 5 seconds. It's the same
Right.
thing with Kim Kardashian and
Oh
how
Lord,
she
Jesus.
discarding folks. You know what I
I'm
mean? So
tired. I'm
like
tired of her.
it's
I'm
it
tired of her.
but it's also you have to put the blame on, like how we were talking about a couple of weeks ago. You have to put the blame on the next person because you have no excuse. If something goes sour, you have no excuse because you have all of these examples that have preceded
Right.
beforehand.
Exactly.
So like
Exactly.
if you want to be Nick Cannon's number 11th baby mama,
Ah,
that's your fault. You know what I mean?
right.
Just
No, you're
because,
right.
yeah, I mean, we've seen it and we've seen it all in just this year. You know what I
Right.
mean?
But
So
Right.
like,
again, it's Nick Cannon though. It's
right,
Nick Cannon.
exactly.
Drumline.
That's what they're gonna say. That's what
I
they're
Hey,
gonna
mean,
say when it
what's
comes
love got
to
to do with it?
they're looking up for
that's what
Wild
they're
they're gonna
looking
out.
say
for
when it comes to Brittany Renner too. When Brittany Renner takes them to the cleaners yet again,
right.
is gonna be like, oh, you didn't know about PJ? Like you didn't know about like all those dudes beforehand? Like we done seen time after time. Ain't nobody gonna feel bad for you. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like
exactly.
you can't make us want to feel a type of way about the
And then
situation when you should have already known the situation
exactly.
I just don't.
beforehand.
Yeah, I don't get her
I
multiple
agree.
personality, man. It's kind of like it just confuses me. Like she just has this whole like woman empowerment shit. I can sleep with whoever I want and blah blah blah. But then like
Sometimes
again,
I
like I
feel
said
like she
before, she
does
gets
it for
called
her
out on it
image.
and she starts crying.
Sometimes I feel like she does it for her, excuse me, for her image.
I
I
think
don't,
she
I'm not really sure, but sometimes it seems like that's why she might be on the flip floppy side with it. But I also think that she wholeheartedly feels, she really believes what she says and how she feels about certain things. And I
I think
mean,
she wants I think she wants other women to adopt the same type of
I
mentality.
think so
Honestly,
too.
I think the reason why is because she feels that men have been doing it for a very long time, so why can't she?
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah,
Like you can't
No,
say if you can't hold accountability for you doing the exact same thing, then who are you? If I can't question you, who are you to
right,
question me? You know what I
right,
mean? So like I
no,
feel
exactly.
it's the men that she deals with that does that on like a daily basis.
a
Because
lot of
she
women,
won't, because again, she's the type, she won't deal with an average dude.
Yeah, well, yeah, she did say
right,
that.
right, right. A lot
And guys,
I'm saying a lot of women have this type of mentality. Well, not the type of mentality to actually do it, but when it comes to their view of how men are in relationships and trying to like stick and hold to the relationship, if you have been cheated on by a man, I think that they tend to vibe with what Britney is doing. Not to say that they're going to do it too, but they can understand why she's doing what she's doing just because I mean they come together in the same experience of being cheated on a man when all they were was good in the
right,
relationship. You know what I mean?
it
So
flips
like
that, it
yeah.
flips
I
that
mean,
narrative.
there are men, just like there are women who are doing it, who are cheating on good men.
Women who are
There are men who are cheating on good women just as well. And
right,
so when you can turn a person into a monster, like just by cheating on them. And
right, exactly.
I
Make them
think
cold
Brittany has
hearted.
been,
Make them,
oh
yep,
yeah, talked down to all of those situations that are abusive in terms
right,
of or toxic rather, not abusive but toxic. You know what I mean? Like that makes you want to get what you need and keep it pushing. And I feel
exactly,
like
and not have no
Brittany,
emotional attachment.
we have nobody to blame um for Brittany other than the people who have done her wrong
Right,
and who have turned her into the monster that she is. And same thing when it comes to um, some of these players out here. A lot of
yep.
the time, they were in a relationship and were done wrong, and so they say, "I'm about to get what I need," and so
No,
then
you're
they
right.
start playing people
All type of
all
people,
day,
all
all
types of
long.
women are
Yeah,
right, exactly.
yeah, my
Not
bad.
taking nothing
We went on
serious. You're
long for
right.
that.
No, you good. You're good. I was gonna say, I was gonna tie it up, but I want to make sure we're not gonna run over time. But I think we will be fine. Just really quickly, anybody in the chat too, if you guys want to chime in on it, what do you think occurs mentally and emotionally when a woman tries to have as many body counts as a man? Like you just said, Kenyatta, do you think
I don't think I don't.
it's
Are
it's
they
a do you think
trying? Are they trying to what? Like, what are you trying to accomplish with
like
trying to gain as many body
there
counts?
are a lot of women that feel like they can move like a dude. Like I can have as many dudes or whatever, or I can have this one over here and that one over here and that and be sleeping with all of them. So
Yeah, but why do
I
they think that's a good thing though? Like, why
I
do they think
don't
that's like a positive
I
outlook?
think
Like, I
I
don't
don't.
I
I
understand
don't
that.
don't.
I
Well,
think that a lot of women feel as though if they move like a man and not get and not do what is natural of a woman, which is to have your emotions, which is to bind your emotions to a man, I think they feel that it's easier for them to get what they want and their needs met without having to be emotionally distraught.
yeah,
So like if
that makes
you're,
sense.
you know what I'm saying? So like if you're with a dude and you're hooking up with the dude all the time, but you're allowing your emotions to also attach itself to the sex, to the time that y'all are spending together, to all of that stuff. And then the guy is not maybe he does like you, maybe he like kicking it with you, maybe he likes your sex, maybe he likes all of that, but he's not really ready to settle down or be committed or to just be sexually active with just you. He's with multiple people, but those other people he might be having sex with, but he might not have an emotional bond with this one over here, but he might have something a little attached going on with this one over here. And then he might have something attached, you know what I'm saying? And then I feel like with women, what they try to do is numb that part that is actually a natural instinct and a natural purpose of women for us to be emotional for a reason, because I think a lot of it comes from the fact that we bear children. So when a woman tries to maneuver like a man, I feel like it takes away some of her sense of emotional purpose, because there's a reason why we're not like men. Like we were saying earlier, women are internal. It's not natural. Like I think somebody said pH gonna be all jacked up. Charmaine, exactly.
For real.
It's not natural for a woman to just be, just out here doing the most. And we know everybody goes through their phase when you're young and da. But I mean, if you out here moving like a man and you're a female, you're really doing more damage to yourself as a woman, because men don't emotionally attach themselves to everybody that they sleep with.
The problem is, why are we trying to emulate what a toxic man will do?
There you go.
What I mean? Like, why are you trying to recreate what, because he's able to go out there and do that. Why do you think I want to do that too? That's not what you ever wanted.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that's not, and it also goes back to like some women try to make no good niggas good. And
right.
I was just about to get to that. I was like, why are they going after toxic men? I was just about to get to where the point that you're getting at, Ken. Like, why are you going after toxic men in the first place?
Yeah, it's a situation. Okay, so it's like that whole Blueface Krishan situation. He told her time and time again he did not want to be in a relationship, right? And so there are a lot of men who are just not ready to stop playing the field, right? But because you come across this dude that you want to lock down, he don't want to lock you down or be locked down, or he may feel like guilty in a particular situation. So then he's going to jump into this relationship to save your feelings, but is not mentally ready to be able to settle down yet. Like we said, men are visual creatures for one, and on top of that, they need to be sexually experienced, right? So in order for them to be able to do so, they have to go and roam the streets and do whatever they want, right? But the problem, like a dog. But the problem is,
dare you? How dare you?
I mean,
that was extremely sexist. I am highly offended.
Hey, have you ever seen a male? Exactly. You ever seen my male dog? My male dog. I have just censor this. I have had to get my male dog off of my children. They hump everything.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Right. Yeah, I just hump everything.
Yes, my dog is trying to.
I want to fuck it. Okay. All right.
Especially my toddler, because my toddler's on his level. Yeah, I have literally had to teach him Dior. No, or he used to take his toys and get his toy, play with it, and then be over there humping this toy. Yeah. And I'm like, what
sometimes you have to get it out of your system to be okay. You know what I mean? It's starting to feel like all pussy is the same. You know what I mean? Or
is that true though? Does it really? Is that?
No, I'm just saying it. You have to get it out of your system, and a lot of the time people tend to use their 20s in order to do so. Until you get to a point where you feel a void. You know what I mean? And you want to fill that void